What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I want to talk more about the One Piece trading card game. Now, what is really annoying to me is that, for some reason, Bandai were like, hey, this new game's coming, get excited, and I was like, yes, deal, I'm excited. It's been like 2 weeks since they told us anything about this game, but there are a couple of things I did not go through in the previous video which I should have done, and there are a few things which I've had to think about, and I think I've got some answers for you. So I think it's time for a little bit of an update, and we might as well start off with one of the biggest questions, and that is the release date. Now, it has been confirmed that this game is going to be launching as a worldwide release in 2022, but they actually gave us a little bit more than that. You see, they told us it's going to be launching in July, in Japan, and it is going to be launching later in 2022 in the rest of the world. That's what they've told us. That's what's out there. Here's the thing, though. That actually tells us quite a bit. Now, at this stage, I need to put my business teacher hat on, because essentially, when you're looking at companies, the best way to predict the future actions of a company are to look at the past actions of that company. Nice and simple. Now, we haven't actually seen what Bandai are doing in relation to this because this game hasn't launched yet. However, we do have some existing card games. We have got both Dragon Ball Super and we've got Digimon. And let me be super clear about this right off the bat. Ignore Dragon Ball. Look at Digimon. And that's not because I play Digimon and I don't play Dragon Ball, and it's not because I'm a mean person or anything silly like that. The answer is extremely simple. Dragon Ball is a very, very different thing. You see, Dragon Ball is a card game which exists in the West, but does not exist over in Japan. It's just not a thing. Whereas Digimon is a card game which is being run by Bandai in both Japan and over here. So it means that we can actually sit here and make some pretty good predictions based on what Bandai have done with Digimon. And what Bandai have done with Digimon is put us on something like a 6-month delay. So if we look at BT7, that was released on August the 27th in Japan, March the 4th in English. Now, August to March is actually 7 months, not 6, but we've got the very end of August, very beginning of March, I think we'll be fine. We could then look at BT8, which was released in Japan on November the 26th and English on May the 6th, which is 6 months, or I suppose you could kind of call it 5 and a bit. Point is, we're on a something like 6-month delay. There's always going to be exceptions and things going on and all of that, that's fine, but a roughly 6-month delay. Now, at this stage, some of you are probably thinking, well, hang on a second, well, see, that doesn't make much sense. If the game is launching in July in Japan, a 6-month delay would put us into 2023, and we know it's coming in 2022. And the answer is, to put it bluntly, November. The game's launching in November. Now, if I know it's launching in November, why haven't Bandai told us it's launching in November? And the reason essentially is, November's a long way away. With everything going on in the world, with the damn panic, and the situation in the Ukraine and everything else, a lot of things are being delayed, and a lot of things are proving very awkward at the moment. For that reason, they are giving themselves a little bit of leeway, and trying to make sure they're not being held to anything, just in case. Simple as that. You see, over in the West, in the US, UK, Europe, etc., you launch games in November. November is what you do, and the reason is Christmas. The big shopping months are November, essentially the latter half, and December. That is when people go shopping for Christmas. If you launch your game too late, you lose out on that shopping, it doesn't work. Now, weirdly, in Japan, this doesn't hold. In Japan, Christmas Eve this past year, we saw the release of the Digimon set EX2, literally launched on Christmas Eve, and we saw that Weiss Schwarz launched their Marvel game, again, on Christmas Eve. Really weird to me. You would never, ever do that in US, Europe, etc. Over in Japan, yeah, no, they totally do that. It's weird, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but that's just the way it is. So they're going to be targeting a November release. To be blunt, they have to be targeting a November release. And we did actually see this with Digimon. Now, when Booster 1.0 came out, we ended up with a special pre-sale in November and a proper launch in January. Now, let me be super clear about this. As someone who's taught business for many years and kind of gets business, you do not launch anything in the beginning of the year. And the reason is, no one's got any money. Because of Christmas. At the moment, I'm a professional YouTuber, which is a weird thing to say out loud. I earn my money off of ad revenue. Does anybody want to guess what happens to ad revenue when we hit January? Imagine a graph, and that graph goes down super sharply. That's what happens to ad revenue in January. And I know this, and I plan for it. But my earnings from ad revenue dip fairly dramatically when we hit the end of the year. Happens. Not a big deal, prepared for it, all good. And the reason it dips is because companies are not spending money on ad revenue, and the reason they're not spending money on ad revenue is because nobody's got any money. Point being, very simply, you do not launch new card games in January or the beginning of the year if you can help it. You launch them in November. Digimon clearly did not want their pre-sale and then a release later on, but they wanted to get something out there when they could, and they did. It was not an ideal situation. They did everything they could. And I know that's a very long way of looking at it, and I'm sorry, but you know what? I think I've made my case pretty clearly. You should expect this game to be launching in November, and that is going to put us on a 4 to 6 month delay. Honestly, although we're initially starting off on kind of like a 4-month-ish delay, I would expect us to settle at a 5 or 6 month delay like we have in Japan. And the Pokemon trading card game is on a delay from Japan. That is a card game which exists in both those territories. And Digimon is on a delay from Japan. That is a card game that exists in both territories. And this is a fairly standard thing. And there's many reasons for it. The biggest reason, as far as I'm concerned, essentially is it's just easier. You don't have to get everything done at once. It gives you a little bit of leeway, and it means you can address certain issues. We have seen over in the Digimon card game that we've basically had some cards which are being banned or restricted on release. And the reason they're getting banned or restricted on release is because they've been out in Japan and they've seen it's a problem. But because they only launched in Japan, it's a problem in Japan, they fix it, and the restricted list is much easier to deal with over here. And I'm fully aware that a bunch of you don't really want to be having a game on a delay from Japan, and all I can tell you is, sorry, that's just the way these card games tend to work. As a nice little side note here that I need to put in, when the game launched in English, we had Booster 1.0 and Booster 1.5. And they were 12 card packs as opposed to the Japanese 6 card packs. And I had a whole bunch of people telling me that after Booster 1.0 and 1.5, we would be going to 6 card packs just like they did in Japan. And I told people that that's not going to happen because Japan generally tends to have smaller booster packs and we tend to have bigger booster packs. And I had to block a whole bunch of people that were super rude to me because they disagreed but couldn't do it politely. And would you believe it? We are now up to BT8 over here. And that incidentally does include a special set EX1. And oh look, we're still having 12 card packs. So when One Piece launches, and it has small booster packs in Japan, which is very, very likely, and then it comes out over here, and they have bigger booster packs, please just accept that that's the way it is. It's a cultural thing. Happens in Pokemon, happens in Digimon. Not anything to get worried about. Now, the other question we need to talk about, other than release date and pack size and things of that nature, is what's going on with this online client. Because as a bunch of you have pointed out to me, there is an online client which has been shown off for One Piece. Shout out to a whole bunch of people, including over on Twitter. Because they have shared, the One Piece official Twitter has gone and shared this image of the game. What does that mean? Very little, as it stands at the moment. Now, in terms of gameplay, we can see there that you've got your leader, your deck, your trash. The way the game seems to work is weirdly far more similar to Dragon Ball than something like Digimon, in essentially that what you've got is you've got your leader, and then you can bring out other people to fight with you and other cards to boost your power and things of that nature. It seems to be along similar kind of lines as Dragon Ball, although again, we don't actually know this. We will have to wait and see. But it seems to be that kind of game. And it's not the only game we've ever seen with leaders. We saw a similar thing with a Transformers trading card game, although that was a very different kind of game. It wasn't exactly the same. But one of those ones where you put your leader out at the beginning of the game, and the rest of your deck is essentially people to fight alongside and cards to help you and boost your power and all things of that nature. That seems to be where we are. Does this mean a proper online client is coming for One Piece? No. No, it doesn't. Remember, both Digimon and Dragon Ball have had a teaching app to help you learn the game, and it is overwhelmingly likely that that is what this is here. Again, Bandai have launched 2 TCGs lately, and both of them have had a teaching app that you can use on tablets, phones, etc. in order to learn the game. That is going to be the case here. Clearly, it worked the first 2 times they did it. It's going to work again. It is a great idea. Remember that Digimon at Worlds, etc., they are playing around with this proper online client. And so there is something in the works for Digimon. An actual proper online client, which is not going out as a wide release yet. It's not something that's actually being launched, but it is something which is clearly being developed and is being used for specific tournaments, etc. And I do think that we will at some point see a release of this, and if that's the case, we could see one for One Piece as well. Now, putting my business teacher hat on, what I would imagine is they would do the Digimon one first, see how that goes, and then either cancel or ramp up the one for One Piece, depending on how the Digimon one went. But I could absolutely see an online client down the road, but that is very much a prediction, don't hold me to it. All I'm telling you at the moment is it could happen, and it looks very cool indeed. But I think at the moment, assume it's a tutorial app, nothing else. I don't really want to get deep into predictions about exactly how the game is played right now. You've got your leader, you've got your other characters, etc. For now, I think it's better if we leave it and wait till we get some rules announcements. But I do want to let you guys know super clearly, I will be covering this game extensively. When news comes out, I will be here to share and explain it. When rules are released, I will be here to share and explain them. Everything you need to know about this game, I will be sharing. So if you've not clicked that subscribe button yet, please do so. As more information about this game comes out, we are going to be hitting it hard. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know your predictions, and I want to know what you think about the One Piece card game. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.